Hello, welcome to Clarity Tarot. I am recording at a time when I don't usually, so as you can see, there's some unusual shadows in this video, but hope y'all can hang with me and it won't be too distracting. So tonight's reading, I wanted to do a question I actually haven't done a pick a card on before, and that is, what is a spiritual breakthrough or important moment that you've had recently that Spirit wants to talk to you about? And I'd like to do this reading directly from Spirit, almost in that way of like, hey, this was really great hanging out with you this time. Remember when you were going through that, or when I said that to you and you said that to me? Good times, good times. So this should feel kind of nostalgic and might even be, one of those spiritual upgrades or things you've gone through that you don't even remember anymore. If you're anything like me, I guess. Things feel so big at the time, and really they are, but a year or 5 years or 10 years later, I may not even remember what that was that I went through. So this reading is going to be to look back at an important spiritual moment in your life and revisit, remember, reflect, and do some extra processing and appreciation around what that was that you experienced. So we'll see what comes through here. Like I said, I've never tried this question exactly this way before. We have 3 different decks to choose from, 3 piles. So first pile is Tarot of the Divine. Pile 2 is the Light Seers Tarot. Pile 3 is the Byzantine Tarot. There will be timestamps in the description box, and I will see you at your reading. So pile 1, we're asking Spirit, what's an important spiritual breakthrough that you've had that Spirit wants to talk about, or to remind you about, to be nostalgic about, or just to connect with you over? So Spirit, what do you want pile 1 to know about an important spiritual moment that they've had? Important spiritual moments for pile 1. First, we have the Hanged Man in reverse. Let's actually zoom in a little bit. So, yeah, that's better. Pile 1. An important spiritual breakthrough that they've had. Knight of Cups. Sorry, I'm working on the focusing here for some reason. Doesn't seem to be okay. That seems a little better. I'm not sure what's happening with that there. King of Wands. Oh, it looks like it's focusing now. I haven't really had this happen quite this way before, so I'm thinking that's actually important to your storyline. Something was in focus, then out of focus, then in focus and out of focus again. Like you thought you had a grasp on what was going on, but then you get confused and overwhelmed. Bottom of the deck, we have 5 of coins. So, and that actually kind of reminds me that in focus, out of focus energy reminds me of the Hangman in reverse. The Hangman upright is about willingly putting yourself in a different point of view to be able to see things differently. And Hangman in reverse is almost when you get stuck there. You keep trying to look at things from another point of view, and it's like it's not making things any clearer. It almost sets you back somehow. So I think what Spirit's wanting to bring to mind is a time when you were dealing with a lot of mental confusion, I think. This could have been from just a very complicated, dramatic situation. It could have been that there were some mental or emotional factors going on with you or the people involved that just made it really challenging to even puzzle through like what is happening here. And the breakthrough that you had with the Knight of Cups, the King of Wands, and Justice is you were able to bring love to the situation, but also connect to your sense of action and like what is the right thing here. With the Five of Coins as the theme for the reading, I think this had to do with you leaving someone behind. I'm getting that this is a particular someone that you've put distance between you. For some of you, this is a parent, and in particular a mother. For others, it could be a romantic partner or a friend or even a boss that you were close with. Whatever the case, though, it took you a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of support from many different people and places to see like, oh, there's a common denominator here and it isn't me. It's this person, it's this relationship, it's this situation, this job, this city I live in, this church or synagogue, whatever that one thing was, you eventually were able to disentangle yourself. And if you think about, I think sometimes you're maybe a bit hard on yourself, pile one, for how long it took you to see this clearly, because hindsight really is 2020. I think looking back now, you can see all the signs, you can understand what was negative for you or creating a problem, even though it felt so confusing at the time. But what I'm hearing from Spirit is think about how many people are still in that situation, even with that very person or with a similar dynamic. So like, let's say this is your mother, maybe you have other siblings or family members who are also having a really difficult time with that person, but they haven't put that distance, they haven't created boundaries in a way that serves them, so they're still kind of in the crazy making stage of being really overwhelmed and not knowing up from down. So Spirit is trying to come through to let you know, like, hey, this reading is about what you've done really well, something I'm so proud of you about. So don't be down on yourself about this. Like the fact that you actually did put that distance and release the hold that this person had on you is a lifetime's worth of work and karma and progression. And all you have to do to realize that is look at the other people around you who haven't been able to achieve that, whether with this exact person or with a similar dynamic in their own lives, like with their own mother, for example, if that storyline resonates for you. So Spirit, what is it that you want to say to pile one about this? What's coming out most is I'm really getting a sense of pride. A sense of pride coming from Spirit to you. I'm really getting that with this King of Wands plus the Justice card. Do you know how it feels to watch someone like swiftly and in their power and totally grounded, in control, say what they're going to do or what they're not going to do, tell the truth, take a stand, do the hard thing, do something brave? I think you really had to put it all on the line in this situation, pile one, in a way that felt really terrifying for you and in a way that left you very vulnerable emotionally and was totally a leap of faith moment. You had to do that, and And I'm just getting this mental image of there being just like a chorus of applause from heaven, or like a slow clap from all the spiritual beings observing you. So Spirit's really wanting you to take a moment now and just meditate on that moment, whatever that moment was for you, where you did the brave thing. I'm also hearing to reflect on who you were before making that choice and who you've been after. How much growth, how much expansion has come into your life. It's truly amazing. And like was coming through before, I think it's so obvious to you now how that situation was holding you down and holding you back. And maybe you still don't understand all of it. It's reminding me of a reading that I had recently where the reading said, one of the main people that you've had to deal with in your life as like a secret enemy or a secret hater has been your parent, who had this jealousy with you of qualities that you had that they always wanted. And how confusing for a child growing up and having that dynamic at play. And there was something like that here for you, Pile 1, where you couldn't have known, you couldn't have understood earlier because this was too complex. And even now there's still some elements that maybe you won't understand until later, until maybe you've had similar experiences that kind of snap something into place in your understanding, or until certain events transpire with this person or in your own life, where then you realize, wow, a big yawn that just like came upon me and had to be expressed. Sorry about that. Distraction there. But yeah, there will be more for you to understand over time with the situation. There's still more to be learned, and that learning won't necessarily come from interactions with this person. It'll come from your continued moments with Spirit. Anything else? Oh, you know what I want to do? I hope y'all don't get sick of me doing this, because it's not likely to end anytime soon, but I love to pull from the Love Bombs Oracle to close a reading. So, a Love Bomb for Pile 1, please, about their spiritual breakthrough. Love Bomb for Pile 1, please. You have great taste. I think you're going to know exactly how this applies to you, Pile 1. But what I'm getting immediately is it's almost the sense of like, you know who you are, you know who your people are, and what you want your life to be about, and you don't settle for anything less. It's giving me Justice card vibes also. Okay, Pile 1, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you did, and I hope to see you at another reading. Bye-bye. Hey, Pile 2, if you picked the Light Seers Tarot, this will be your reading, and we're asking the question, what spiritual breakthrough does Spirit want to talk to you about and help you recall? For Pile 2, please, Spirit. What moment do you want to relive with them? What do you want to draw their attention to? What do you want them to know about their spiritual breakthrough? We got have a stack of cards falling. I'm going to keep shuffling. For pile 2, please. We have 2 of Pentacles, the World in reverse, the Queen of Swords, the Star in reverse, Page of Pentacles in reverse, 2 of Swords, Nine of Swords in reverse, and the Knight of Cups in reverse. So let's see. I'm gonna arrange these so you can see them a bit better. Bottom of the deck is 6 of Swords. Wow, so you left something behind you in a big way, pile 2. I'm seeing here that you used to be a person that didn't believe healing was possible, that didn't believe in love, that believed in, how would you say this? Maybe like mutual selfishness, like finding people in situations where you didn't have to rely on altruism or someone doing the right thing or being good to you, but just making sure that everything's aligned so that it's mutually beneficial for both parties, and that would ensure that it stays a positive situation. So like never relying on someone's good nature, goodwill, positive intentions towards you, but rather banking on their selfish motives, and just making sure that, and this isn't necessarily bad, but something like, a job, I need to go somewhere where they're going to respect me and pay me fairly for my time, and they need me to do a job so they can make money and make a profit from me. Like, those are selfish motives, not necessarily bad. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about this. Like, nothing nefarious, but just it not oriented or motivated from love, altruism, care, compassion. And I think you were very cut and dry about this. There is also something very important for you about looking at the world in this way. I'm hearing that it was essential for your development emotionally to take this point of view, especially in your younger years. It's almost like it was a coping strategy that helped protect you emotionally for a while, until you were in safer spaces where you could begin to open up and grow psychologically in ways that you hadn't before. And so what Spirit's wanting to highlight is a particular moment. For some of you, it was a relationship, maybe someone you fell in love with. For others, maybe it was the birth of a child. There's a lot of scenarios going through my head, and it's different for each of you. But there was a moment where you realized love is real, and it's the most powerful force in the universe. And I think this hit you really hard, physically, like literally, like it was almost like a gut punch, I think, when you felt this. And you also, feeling is a weird word, because the sense that I'm getting as I'm talking about this is it's almost like you felt it in your mind. Can you feel something in your mind? How do I describe this? It's like something clicked. You had an aha moment. You had a burst of inspiration or an epiphany. Or it's like your body felt the power of love, perhaps coming from another person or coming up inside of you for another person, like in the example of you having a child. And it was transformative for you. Not least because you realize, I don't know if I've felt this before, and I don't know if anyone's ever felt this for me before. So that's a heartbreaking realization to have, but it also changes everything, doesn't it, Pile 2? I think the changes in your external life are just beginning to show, but on the inside, you're a totally different person than who you were. Like I said, Spirit's not throwing any shade on you for how you used to be. I'm hearing again that it was like essential for your development, for you to go through those stages, to look at the world that way. But at the time when you had this bolt of lightning, this epiphany moment, the expiration date had passed. You were beginning to feel dry inside, almost empty, a deep kind of existential loneliness, a kind of what's it all for angst about the world, which makes a lot of sense. And what Spirit's wanting to celebrate in you is that you allowed that in. You know, you allowed yourself to feel the love in a way that would have been too threatening for you to even attempt in the past. And that changed everything. I think you're still in the midst of this change, Pile 2, and maybe it's not going as smoothly or as quickly as you hoped it would. But I'm hearing you've made so much progress, so much more than you even know. And no matter how many low moments you have right now or in the future, it will never be like that again. You'll never go back to that place of that deep, hollow ache and emptiness that I would say that you lived with, but at the time, it's not that you didn't notice it. It's just maybe you just considered that normal, especially with what your worldview was like. And now you're realizing that that was a poverty of love in your life and doesn't have to be that way. And so you're slowly taking the steps to open your heart more to yourself and to others, to create fulfilling relationships, to reach out spiritually and feel nourished and connected in the ways that serve you, that work for you. And each one of those steps is a celebration. It's a festival, I'm hearing. All of them are a really big deal. It's so important that you not compare your progress with others or where you are now versus where you used to be. Sorry, did I say that correctly? Compare yourself now with where you used to be, not with others or where you think you should be in the future. You're still at the stage where, a seed is planted and all the roots are growing underground and you don't see anything above ground. Maybe you're at the stage where you can see a tiny sprout coming out of the soil, but one day it'll be a mighty oak tree. You've just laid all the groundwork first, and you know about that, don't you, Pile 2? I think you are a laying the groundwork kind of person. It's very important, and you're very good at it, and you've done a very good job with this. So let me just settle in for another moment here and see if there's anything else Spirit wants you to know about this breakthrough moment for you. So I'm hearing that Spirit wants me to talk about the love, and I'm really actually feeling it right now. I'm feeling some tears well up. It's really powerful. And what Spirit wants you to know is that the love hasn't died. Maybe you've been separated from your child. Maybe this romantic love you felt for someone hasn't come to fruition the way that you would hope or think it should. But just like just like love in your life is beginning to sprout and grow, the love between you and that person is also alive. It's a growing thing. You just can't always see what the roots are and why those particular roots have been needed. But one day you'll understand. Don't you love that? One day it'll all make sense. Well, yeah, hopefully. Of course it will. But no, truly in this situation, like you'll be able to look back and feel nothing but gratitude even from the times that you felt separate or apart. And this is a great, beautiful love story. You're not wrong about that. Even if sometimes you're afraid you're deluding yourself, or it was just something you ate that day, or a flight of fancy or emotionality, or just feeling what someone else is feeling. I think you've considered every possibility to try to explain this away as something else. Pile 2. And that makes sense. That's very natural, very human. But Spirit asks you only to look to the proof in your life. Only something real and true and powerful could have this effect. And you said yes to it. And I'm just feeling just like this big giddy smile. You said yes to it. Let's close your reading with a love bomb. Love bomb for pile 2, please. I've heard many people say good things about you, and I agree with them. So a message that's coming through for me with this is, maybe this is one piece of evidence about the changes in you, pile 2. Maybe your reputation wasn't as positive in the past as it is now. Maybe you didn't know that earlier, that people maybe had negative things to say. Maybe you care less now about what people say, so you're not tracking it as closely. But Spirit's just wanting you to know that people say good things, and they're true things now. Like, your reputation is based in authenticity, truth, and honesty now. And that's something that you fought for. Thank you, pile 2. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in another reading. Hey, pile 3, if you picked this Byzantine Tarot deck, let's do your reading. So we're looking at what is a spiritual breakthrough you've had recently that's important, that Spirit wants to draw your attention to. We have Judgment in reverse flying out first. I'm going to actually start reading from right to left because I've been having some weird focusing issues so far today. What else does pile 3 need to know about a spiritual breakthrough, an important moment they've had? Anything else you want them to know, Spirit? We have King of Swords in the reverse. Three of Swords in the reverse. My deck is not upside down. Actually, I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I have a feeling that your reading is going to have a few more cards in it. So for pile 3, spiritual breakthrough they should know about. King of Wands in reverse, Count of Staves in reverse. Knight of Coins with the Empress. Back of the deck, Queen of Wands in the reverse. Okay. So I think this is a message about your romantic life in particular. I think that you've had to kiss a lot of frogs, as they say. It's like you've experienced every kind of not for you relationship. I think you've even experienced yourself as several different versions, with the Queen of Wands in the reverse here at the back. But there has been a moment where you've become the Empress. The Empress is self-sustaining, nurturing. She creates life wherever she goes. And she is in feminine energy. Doesn't necessarily mean female. Feminine energy is receptive, allowing, nurturing, holding space, creative, expansive, manifesting, gets things done by attraction, letting things come to her. Maybe you're a person that did a lot of the work in your relationships when you were younger. Maybe you learned that the best way to make something work, either at your job or in your relationships, was to make it happen. Push a rock uphill, be a star, be unforgettable, be shiny, do all the things, be everything to everyone. And I think you eventually just got really exhausted by that, pile 3. The feeling of just tiredness is what's coming through most with that. And this journey, I think you would say, has been very slow for you to get to this point where you are. Maybe you think you should have gotten there faster. I'm hearing from Spirit, though, that it was exactly on time, that every quote-unquote failed relationship or unsatisfactory work experience, you needed each one to get to where you are today. Maybe you're even in a situation now romantically that doesn't feel perfect to you. That could even be that you're not partnered right now, or it could be that you have a partner and sometimes you think, like, are they really the right one? Are they really good enough for me? Because I'm pretty great. Is this really a healthy relationship, or is it codependent? I think there's a lot of questions that go through your mind, pile 3. And what Spirit's wanting to come through and assure you of is that, yes, you are in the center. I haven't heard this phrase in a long time. You're in the center of God's will for you right now. And that includes whatever your romantic status is at this very moment that you're watching this reading. And Spirit's asking you to reflect on some of these relationships you've had in the past, the things that went wrong, the ways that you felt unseen, unheard, unappreciated, not in your right energy, meaning like you having to do all the initiating and forward movement for the relationship. So this is really a look at how far you've come reminder from Spirit, and a celebration of all the lessons you've experienced and learned and passed and not had to repeat over and over. And I think you had to repeat a few of them over and over. I mean, we all do, pile 3. But with the 3 of Swords in reverse here, I think you broke your own heart many times by situations you put yourself in, even if that lesson had come to you in a different form earlier. But Spirit's wanting to come through and say, like, there's no shame, there's no guilt in that. You did everything exactly on time. And now you're in your Empress stage, in your villain era also, for some of you, I'm hearing. And it's a good look on you, pile 3. Let me just drop in for a moment and see what else Spirit wants to come through for you. Your spiritual breakthrough or a positive moment that Spirit's had with you. It's funny, what I'm hearing come through is now, this moment, like Spirit wants to celebrate this moment. You exactly today, this minute, watching this reading. Like the you from 5 years ago, 10 years ago would never be here, would never have listened this far into the reading, would never be resonating with it, would never be interested quite this way. And Spirit's just loving sharing this particular moment, this memory with you. And the feeling that I have coming over me now is just, you know, that deep sense of contentment. Like if you're sitting with your bestie in a field somewhere, or the one you love, just sharing space and like everything is just as it should be. And that's what I feel, and that's what Spirit's wanting to convey to you. I hope somehow that vibe can come through the screen and that you can experience it too, pile 3. This is a pretty great feeling. Let's close your reading with a love bomb. So love bomb for pile 3, please. The people you love are very lucky to have you, and I know it, I'm hearing. And they know it, and I know it. Interesting. Maybe somebody I know is going to pick this reading. Yeah. They're lucky. They know it. You know it. God knows it. Everyone knows. You are blessed. You're God's favorite. And your relationships are blessed. And that includes whatever one that you had in mind earlier in this reading where you're like, is it right though? Am I not seeing something? No, everything's good. The people you love are very lucky to have you. Thank you, pile 3. Please leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you thought about this reading. Book a personal if you like in the description box, and see you next time.